It is Kylie with Paradigm again. Today we're going to be looking at creating a Facebook page. So we have to actually create a personal page in order to be able to create a business page. It's just the way Facebook has things set up. With that being said, typically most people aren't really wanting to use a personal page. They just want to use it for business. That's perfectly fine. You do not have to create a personal page and still utilize it all that much. However, it's still recommended. However, we'll cover that just a little bit more in just a little bit. For here, we're just going to go ahead and get started. You'll go to facebook.com and begin putting in your information from here. Start with an email. Then you'll start typing in your passwords. Oh, that's not a password. Here we are. Birthday. All right, and then hit sign up. Now, your browser may ask you if you want to go ahead and save this information. You can if you want. That's perfectly fine. Makes things easier. So it looks like we have gotten an email to go ahead and verify. So let's go ahead and pop over to our email. Looks like it just came through. So we'll click on that. Confirm your account. All right, so we are now on here. It's just started. So here it's asking us to upload a profile picture. So we'll go ahead and hit add picture. Okay, and then from here, we'll just go to the library, go to pictures. All right. Okay, perfect. Looks like it's been uploaded. So from here, I'm actually going to click on Melissa's name up here. And this is what your typical regular page will look like. So you got your profile picture there. You can do some introductions, bio. You can do all this over here. Current city, workplace, school, hometown, relationship status. You can do all this if you desire. Solely up to you whether or not you'd like to do something like that. Completely up to you. Now, with that being said, I'm going to skip all this for the moment. And let's go on to creating a business page. So to start off, I just want to go ahead and say we are on the classic version of Facebook. They actually have two versions now. One's the classic, which is the older view that we're looking at right now. The other one is a new version, which we'll take a look at here in just a little bit. So up at the top to start your business page, we're going to hit where it says create. You're going to see a couple different options here. We want to choose page. All right, so you're going to have two different options here. Business or brand is the one we want. So hit where it says get started. And then you would begin with your page name. So I'm going to say Melissa Jones, Realtor. You can add a category in here. If you type in real, you'll see a bunch of different options here for real estate agent. So I'm just going to choose that. And it's going to ask you for an address. So typically this would be your company address. If you work solely from home, that's up to you whether or not you want to go through and add that in or not. But you'll also notice down here, don't show my address, only show that this is a business in the city, state, region. So that's optional whether or not you want to check that box. And then from here, we'll just finish off with the zip code. And you can put in a phone number, which is optional. I recommend putting in your cell phone number. That way people will know how to reach you quickest. All that being said, we filled out the information, so we want to go ahead and just hit continue. All right, so now it's asking us to go ahead and add a profile picture for our business page. So instead of skip, you can if you want to, but I highly recommend going ahead and uploading a profile picture just because we may get busy along the way and end up forgetting. So might as well do it now while we have a chance. Second thing, upload a cover photo. We'll go ahead and do that as well. You can technically use whatever you want. It usually is a landscape picture that you'll want to use instead of a squared photo. It does need to be a little bit more rectangular. In this instance, I'm going to use my logo, but you can use just about any kind of photo that you want, just depending on. So the get online bookings through Facebook. We're not going to worry about that right now, so I'm going to choose not now. All right, here we are. So it's that easy to start a business page. So from here, you'll see a bunch of different things up at the top that you'll kind of want to play around with to get a little bit more familiar, like page inbox. You'll see business resources for COVID, notifications, insights, publishing tools, more, edit page info. All right, so all that being said, here is our big logo here that is our cover photo. Over on the left, we got our picture. If you ever want to update that, just hover it over and you'll see update pop up. All right, so from here, if you look over on the left, there's home, services, reviews, and then see more. If you hit see more, you're going to have other options on here like shop, offers, photos. We're going to go down the list a little ways and go into about. Once you're in the about section, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll notice here you got your address, phone number. You scroll down just a little bit further, there is a category, name, and username. So the username I highly recommend starting. So this is kind of like a unique ID that essentially will change your um, your URL up at the top. Okay, so that is not eligible to be created for a username. Just didn't want to point that out. I do want to recommend that you do end up setting one up. However, just wanted to show you where that area is and what it looks like. There is an @ symbol before you begin typing. That's perfectly normal. Some people get a little bit confused by it. You don't really need to worry about that. It's supposed to be there. So from there, I'm just going to hit cancel for now. I just wanted to show you the area. This is just for testing. So I'm going to hit cancel. You also have some other options like edit business details, which doesn't really give you too much of a change here. So I usually leave that as unspecified because maybe you have some land and it's a little bit lower, or maybe you have a really nice listing. So I usually recommend leaving it at unspecified unless you work in a very specific type of real estate marketing. You can do start date if you desire, business type. I mean, all of this on here, you really just want to go through and take the time to go through and fill it out. Your about section is very short. Your limit is only 255 characters, so you got to keep it pretty short, sweet, and to the point. If you do have a lot to say, however, there is a our story area over here. Tell people about your business. You can also add some team members on here. So if you have a team, maybe an assistant or something that you would like to be able to access and make changes to your page, but not have access to your personal page, you can add them as a team member, or you can just add yourself. That's really up to you if you want that to display on here or not. So this is pretty much getting started in creating this Facebook page. So this is in the classic view. We'll take a moment to go through the new version. It's slightly different. We'll take a look at that here in just a second. But this is the basics to getting that all set up. You do want to invite friends to come like your page. That will actually allow you to go through and get a little bit more publicity on here. Adding your friends and family is usually the building blocks and making that firm foundation to getting more people on here. Once you add some friends on your regular page, you'll actually want to go over to the left again where about is, but there's a community down below. You'll click that. And this is where you would see the area where you could go in and invite them. Now, since we just started this, the option is not available because we don't have a single friend on here just yet. But this is the area where you could go and choose which people you want to send invites to. Now, as far as that's concerned, there's not a whole lot else. If you're not familiar with Facebook, I highly recommend just kind of playing around with it. That is the best thing that's going to help. It is pretty large, to be quite honest. So it takes some time to learn. So be patient with yourself, especially if you're not the savvy type. Practice does make perfect. So with that being said, if you have any questions about anything, you can always give us a call at the Paradigm Success Team. It's 800-873-0700, option 1. Also, if you want to look up at the top, here's some friend requests you can look at. If there's, it'll also show you notifications, messages, and then you'll have your notifications bar. And then if you wanted to search for someone, you can actually type here and you can begin searching to add them as your friend. So if you want to return back over to your news feed, there's a few different ways to do this. Your news feed is essentially going to show you all the activity from your friends and family or whomever you've added on your Facebook. So if you wanted to get back over to your news feed, one option is to click on the F icon next to the search bar. You can also click on where it says home up in that blue bar at the top where it shows Melissa and find friends. So if we go back to our home screen, this is generally what it would look like. Very easy, very simple, straight and to the point. The other thing I'd like to mention is how do we get back to our business page? So there's a couple different ways to do it. If you look at this down arrow in the upper right here, where it has the blue bar at the top, you can click on that. You'll have your page here. If you have multiple pages, you'll have Manage Page. You can also see over on the left, it has a shortcut right here that says Melissa Jones. You can also hit pages right here as well, and that's over on the left. I do recommend adding yourself into some groups, real estate related, usually some people in your area that you may want to add. This will give you the option to go through and post certain things on there as well.